Hello and welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Alfiah Rizqi Ramdhini, and today I'm delighted to be having this discussion about tech and tech career with the interview Ms. Alda Manuell, founder of Tchossi Academic Angola. Talking Tech is a series celebrating girls and women in tech. It's being recorded around the world between Girls in ICT Day 2020 and Girls in ICT Day 2022. Girls in ICT Day is an international day marked on the fourth Thursday of each April. The objective is to help create a global environment that encourages young women to consider studies and career in the field of information and communication technologies, or ICT. And the Talking Tech series is brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, and the Office of the UN Secretary General Envoy on Youth, and is in support of Equals, the Global Partnership for Gender Equality in the Digital Age. And hello, Ms. Alda. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi.
To kick things off.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you too. Would you mind to introducing yourself a little bit to our audience and share with us your experience before you venture into technology?
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I'm Alda Manuell. I'm an electrical electronics engineer, and I'm now a renewable energy project manager. And my company, it is ABC for telecommunications and energy. I'm also the board member of the Angolan Association of Renewables Energy. I'm founding a Tchossi Academic, as you said, is a digital platform to support e-learn students and also to promote research here in Angola and perhaps Africa. Besides that, I'm really into volunteering. Well, I'm the renewable energy coordinator for INGO, which is like a called Eco Angola. Well, apart that, I'm a woman who loves tech.
Ooh.
And what about you? Tell me about yourself.
Oh, myself. All right. Let me introduce again. My name is Alfiah Rizqi Ramdhini, as you can see, but you can call me like Alfie or Alfiah. And I'm 18 years old student in Bandung Institute of Technology, and I'm on my first years and actually majoring in meteorology science. So that's very surprisingly good to know that you actually work in the renewable energy, because like we are on the same line right now. And
Yeah.
I'm an extrovert and actually a little bit too curious about everything that interests me. Sometimes I like to know about sport. I like to know about renewable energy. I like to know about politics. I like to know everything that makes me curious. And actually, I had a big interest toward international relations and diplomacy. And when in the high school, I prepared myself to get some social science exam to get into the university. But suddenly my grades went past to get into my university right now, and that's where I am. It's very weird, like shifting the interest from the politics into the meteorology science. But yeah, I think that's the new challenge for me for now, because I get into this major. That's how actually I got brought into this conversation, like talking about technology, not gonna lie. And, and I actually become curious, Miss Alda. And when and how did you get into technology? And maybe what is the starter of your journey to get into this point?
I guess my basis came from when I was a child. It's like engineering has always been part of me. And while you love engineering, it comes with technology as well, even in the side of the software or of side in the machinery. And I started to understand that that is what I wanted to do when I was around 5 years old because of my uncle. So seeing him doing the stuff that he was doing here in Angola, it overwhelmed me because at the time we didn't have like electricity in Angola at all. It's like our main matrix, like our main energetic matrix, it comes from fossil fuels like gensets. And then when it came to the boom of the hydropower, and then he was involved, that was when I was trying to see the results of his work, and then made me feel also I want to be like him to develop my country, to be part of this development. And yes, I did my high school right away into electrical and telecommunication. And after that, I did my bachelor's in electrical and electronics. So you'd ask me, how did I end up in renewables? Yes, I did end up because I kind of, in my university, I could see the use of clean power towards the world, but also for rural area, which is like most of part of the country. Here in Angola, we don't have access to electricity. But above all, when I saw that we need we need research, was when Tchossi really raised. It's like I wanted to join my knowledge at university, and also how could I apply it here with the local solutions. Yeah, that was when I was like into technology, into like engineering stuff and energy. So I guess I made myself as a STEAM woman, Yes, and yeah, I guess resuming, that is how I did get into this area.
So it's like your own decision to get into this field of technology,
Yes. So, but it's like taking into account what we are talking about, because I was all assured about what I wanted to be, where I wanted to study. What about you when you had this transition between diplomacy and now, and then you studied the climate? Like, how do you end up accepting or liking like meteorology?
If we want to pull up into my childhood moment, actually I already have a big interest toward like natural science since grade 2, because my teacher invited me to get into like child Olympiad, competing for natural science in the grade 2. And actually I become interested into astronomy at first. It keeps growing until the high school, and my first year in high school I tried to competing again in the astronomy. But you have the point that you realize that, all right, this is not my work, this is not my field, because having to answer like a lot thing involving of math, it's not me again. And I'm very facing like and I encounter many challenges when I try to focusing myself in astronomy. And and then the thing about international relations is going through me. And when I try to explore what is inside them, all right, this is good, all right, this is cool. And I try to involve again in there. I try to move myself from the natural science into social science. And like having to going back into the natural science thing, the field of like talking about math, physics, and other things. It's like you're going back into your childhood, I think, because we need to expand our perspective of knowledge, because like while having a political science, we need to expand about how actually many countries will react about something. But I think if we are talking about technology, we tend to focusing on how we're making a system on it, or making like a flow of technicalities for making a things become a product. I think that's the point when I realized, when I got into my major, all right, we need to focus on it. There's no going back. There's no going there's no back path. Like I don't know what is it, but we need to keep focusing to the future. So I start to explore many things that maybe become could become my root of topic or become my root of knowledge to explore more about technology. And yeah, that's why I'm here right now, because I try to explore more through the, like summer class on my July 2021. And yeah, eventually got invited into here. That's what, yeah, that's the point where I bring into the technology. And actually, I'm also curious, Miss Alda, because the country have many diversities, especially because I'm in the Southeast Asia and you're on the Africa. And how about the situations in Angola, especially in terms of advancement of technology? Because I think there's not many people that know about the current situation in there, especially if we are talking about technology itself. What do you think about it?
Sadly, Angola is not the best country that has like a high rate of quality education. You and Seth already said that like it is a statistic. I'm not gonna come here and try to paint something beautiful about education in my country. However, we don't produce, when I say like we don't have like an industry to produce any kind of technology, or at least like the XPTO technology that normally you have in developed countries. But however, we are well intained to softwares. Like now we have the boom of startups, and most of the startups, they do have this category of softwares. We do have some programmers that they do innovate in kind of the local problems, but talking about innovation and talking about the technology has more to do with the quality education that you get from school. And this quality education, most of all, it comes from research. And then in our university or even high school, we are not really into research. We start now, and I believe it is a long road to go. But fortunately, we are in the fourth revolution, where we have access to internet, although not everyone has, because the internet is a little bit expensive here. But we are curious to know what is going on around the world, and we are trying to do something. But we still need the support, either from the government or either from private company. It's not like countries, like international countries, like international schools, where while you are studying, you do have also, a kind of a part-time work, or you do have like a side work for you to know where you are going. It's like to focus in your career, your early careers. But yeah, the situation is not where we want it to be in terms of innovation and technology. We don't fabricate, we don't do it, but we buy it. We do import a lot of items here in Angola, and we are starting to do our research, and maybe more years to come, we are going to be able also to say, yes, we did this research, we innovated this part, maybe we should apply not just for Angola, maybe for Africa. And perhaps instead of importing, we are also trying to export some stuff. As you know, we do have a lot of resources, like we are rich in natural resources, and I guess most of the components, it can come from here, just like China are doing. They do fabricate, and then most of the components they take from themselves. Yeah. But what about you there? It's like, I know like right now we kind of deal with technology every day. Even now that it's not possible for us to talk because we have a computer and we have internet. But is it within the population, how it is the literacy within your communities? Are they into the new, how do you say, are they into the new area of technology they accept? Because some of people here, they just don't accept. They say like, it's, when someone's trying to look at your stuff, like they don't trust in their own computer or even phones. How is like in your country?
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of things that I actually happening in my country, especially if we are talking about the digitalizations, or we are talking about information of technology, because actually currently this art trend, which actually maybe you know about that, we're talking about digital currency like a crypto, or like anything like coins, digital coins or something like that. So yeah, apparently there's a lot of people that trying to get into that thing, but the concern in here is they're not prepared for the socialization and the informations, like how they can utilize that, how can they provide the informations about the coin, how actually the starter or the guideline for the people that never encounter with that thing. So many people that actually understand about the risks and damage about that thing, or like, because digital currency is we just call it like having a big risk, right? So yeah, for all people that still not understand about that and eventually going into that thing, they're mostly getting into fraud. Recently I think I'm watching more than 3 or 4 news about the fraud regarding with Bitcoin or trading on anything else, and it's very concerning because that the thing that we realize that my country is still not ready for that. My country still need to having a more knowledge about that. My country still need to be socialized about the advancement of technology. That's what I'm very concerning right now, and I think it's also our responsibility as a young, easy to understand about that, to giving a space or to giving a place to provide an informations about the risks and damage regarding that thing. And if we're talking about the internet things, the digitalization of technology, yeah, we also encounter like many startups that growing, and even so that because of my population that's very big in here, yeah, we are the rank for the population in the world. Yeah, we still need to facing for the internet problem or internet equality in the island, because the my country is very big, and it's very hard to connect each other islands, because we still like facing so many financial problem of the government. And I think that's also one thing that we need to highlight to be discussion for young people itself, and the solve for the future.
So, but it's like you're taking a point where it did get my attention, but it's like since we are going into digital areas, like how good is your matrix, your energy? It's like, do you have a stable energy there, or even like, do you have a projects that are sustainable and also they face like these technologies? Like, are they using the technology and sustainability within your communities? Like, how is it?
All right. The good thing about what's happening in here is that it actually the urge of revolution of technology is happening in here. Like, yeah, we tend to keep developing what we can develop. Yeah, we tend to keep developing for that. We keep to making product. We keep to recover what have been damaged before. And yeah, that include about how we could make something that at the first very mechanical into something that automatic. I think that's a very good start, like starting into digitalization or advancement of technology. And it's actually happening in Indonesia. And actually, I'm curious too. How about you? How about in the Angola? Is there any movement that have been, that have been happening regarding the digitalization or the revolution of technology, or like the urgencies that have been raised regarding that?
Movement itself, we don't have like to call like a group of people that are trying to do something. But yes, crypto are now the new thing here now, IoT as well. And we say like we are doing the transition between like petrol to data. It's like data is the new currency here.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot of people are trying to do into crypto, like coins. I guess is kind of a trading, like trading scheme. It's not my area. I understand nothing about this, only a little, but most of the projects, even for the startup, as I mentioned, they do use the softwares, and that they are trying to do how do you call human machines like how do you call, I forgot, I kind of forgot. It's like I just remember in Portuguese. How do you call it? No, it's a human intelligence machine. It's like when they
artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence, yes. Artificial intelligence, yeah. They are using these like for medical purpose. So, which is something that I'm really proud of, because I couldn't imagine that it's like a young students or young people like to do that. But yeah, we are working on that. I guess like we are warriors. We are doing so much with less resources here in Angola. Yeah.
All right, Miss Alda, like we are moving into one specific question actually, because we are women, we are girls, and we actually working or studying in the field where now actually still there's still like majority people or majority gender that working in here. And what do you think about it? And what do you feel that maybe we need to raise, or maybe we need to voice out regarding this point, like a woman working in the tech career? How do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, I feel good. I feel good because sometimes it's just something like unique, when it's like when you are trying to represent a small group of people within the community, but it's also lonely, because sometimes you look in the right, you look at the left, and you see no one's like to reflect of you. But however, we are in the much better position than the girls that were before.
Yeah.
Because when I was studying my high school, I guess we start around 7 girls, and we finished just 3. And that's 3, me included. I was the only one who pursued till the university, and the other 2 girls, they just changed. Maybe because they found another passion, which is not them to be blamed. We have to do what we love, or maybe the culture also made them change their mind. But there is a few representation, but this is me, this is you, who are trying to get the numbers higher, like get a number up in this side. But most importantly, what people don't say is that it is sometimes our own fault why it is the way it is. First of all, because we are the one who raised like our children. And if we complain about machisms, or if we complain about any mindset that limit women to be in a position where she wants to be, where she is capable of, regardless of the age, regardless of the color, regardless of wherever it is, like outside. And we have to raise our babies, we have to raise our children to think I like to think equal, that everyone has opportunity as long as they have the skill to do that. The second stuff is like sometimes we do sabotage ourselves, you know. We are here talking and I can say like I'm a graduated, I'm a manager and I'm in the board direction of this and that. But believe me, in this process, I've sabotaged myself in a way where I did believed in me, you know, where I was doubting myself, where I was like, maybe this is not right. And then be just like, okay, I cannot do this. Or maybe I didn't get this because I'm a woman, you know. And sometimes it's not because you are a woman. It's because you don't position yourself to the way that other people have to believe in you, to the way that other people have to open the doors with you. But yes, this is the token that we don't speak, but I make sure that, yes, no one's gonna pass for it, that it is normal to not know, you know, because of this lack of representation in our community or at work. Sometimes you feel scared to say, I don't know. You feel scared to say no when you can't. Why? Because people are gonna deprioritize yourself just because you can't, because you are female. And that from the moment that I understood that I don't know everything, I can be an expert in this area, but still have to learn every day. And then even if I graduate, if I do my PhD, I will still have something to learn. And yes, and yes, it is the mindset that I have of knowing that I might not be the only one in tech. I might have a low rate of representation, but at least I'm trying to open the doors and the path for other girls, so they know that they are capable of, and it is all right sometimes to struggle. It is normal. That is life. Yeah, I'm sorry, I talked too much. And
no, that's a very good statement, you know.
Yeah, one thing's like I talk about auto-sabotage, but I'm really curious about you as well. Tell me, I know your culture is very conservative. And sometimes you have to do mainly with a man. How do you find yourself, first of all, to be accepted? And secondly, to live your life has nothing, there is nothing against you as a woman who are in a conservative society and also who are beautiful and to be surrounded by men, like with the dangers of not being accepted, with the dangers of people misreading you.
You know, we sure having like a lot difference in terms of, you know, like representations in my country. Actually, you know, I'm living in a majority people, between majority people. I'm a Muslims, and you know, this is a country where we have a majority of Muslim. I'm a woman, and you know, we have a lot of women too in here, and you know, and I'm living in the meteorology science, which is, you know, like technology is something that start becoming common in here. But the different or the encounter thing that I really facing right now is how about we speak as a woman, how we speak, how we could voice out as many as we can as a woman, because you know, because I'm living in the school where, you know, having a title as a Islamic schools, we tend, you know, we tend to keep passing a male to be like a leader of some organization or committee. And you know, for me to keep myself to pushing that limits, it's very difficult at first, because like what you said, we tend to keep alone because we are having like a different perspective or different goals about that, different purpose about that. Yeah, that's what I really feel right now. And actually I feeling it until now in my university, because you know, like Sometimes because I'm a girls and encounter into technology, we people tend to not believe when I'm understand about programming, I'm understand about this one. Yeah. People tend to like, is it true? Oh, people tend to doubting ourselves. Yeah, that's the thing that I encounter right now, to making people could believe, or making people not label someone from based on the gender, or based on the gender, or based on like traditional mind that comes from the first generations. Yeah.
But tell me something, have you ever had an uncomfortable moment where you felt that was just happening because you were a girl?
I don't know, but maybe there's a point where like there's some opinion from people when I have a lot of works. I organizing committee. I'm trying to explore more about technology. I'm exploring more about politics science, and there's some opinion like why Alfiah is having a good work because you're like independent woman. So I don't feel like I can like you. I don't feel like that. Yeah, we are having in the same situation. But basically we're in the same situation, but you didn't just have realized that we have actually like a different way but in the same level. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling, and I think it's very uncomfortable because when I try to speak out or voicing out what I have been worked about, people tend to be like, oh, you're so busy, oh, you're so blah 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 blah, and they're not focusing on how I work on or how I focus it, or I highlighted about what I have been working. Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable for me. What do you think about it? Do you maybe have an advice, for this situation? Because I am a girl and have a little tiny experience.
Yeah.
But we need to face it in the real world.
I had many, and I know I still have more coming. It's like as the day pass, the idea is for you to excel yourself, and there are times that you just meet some people that they just don't care how good you are. Sometimes they just reduce you because of your gender. Yes, and I did have some uncomfortable situation. It was in an interview, and because I also sometimes have some attitude, that is something that I don't negotiate, is like a respect. I do demand respect, and and then during the interview, the guy was just questioning myself if I was able to do the work, why I would, how I would make sure that I would deliver if I was a girl, because I would be like leading a male group. But then I was like, wait a minute, say I'm here because I know how to do the work. You saw my CV, that's why you invited me to go in the first place. And then now you're asking me if I'm able to manage a male team. Yeah, and then things just go worse when he said there is some people that have more experience than you, and there are also foreigners. I was like, okay, having more experience is one thing, but you question myself because of my nationality is another thing. And then, things just went worse and worse. When I just found out, like when I got that he was a machist, I was just, it is all right. You can keep the job. I don't think I'm any longer interested, because if it is for me to be working for you and you have this mindset, it's better just to stay where I am right now. Yeah, and all the stuffs, like this is I've just told this one because this is the one that it affected me for a while, and made me question but it was also one of the reasons why I decided to influence other girls and expose the work that I do. So it can deconstruct this idea that girl cannot lead a male group, that girls cannot do like engineer, or that girls cannot lead a team. Yeah, and then so far so good, is going well. So let's see what the future is holding for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. And I think this is like a basic acknowledge that we need to recognize, before we going too far. You're like talking about the advancement or anything else. We need to talking about ourselves. We need talking about our position actually on this fight. And I think it's very important.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
If you don't know your value, no one will know. It's starting with us first, and then after the other. Yeah.
all right. That's a very good statement, Miss Alda. And we're going to move into our conversation again, talking about technology. And I want to know, what do you like the best about your job? Or, like renewable energy is, it's something that's very complex then. And maybe you can explain about what do you like the best to having on this file. You can explain what you have encountered and maybe the unique experience that you have been through.
Why I decided to jump to renewables instead of remain in electrical, although it seems to be the same thing, but it's not the same thing at all. That is what I said in the beginning. It's like the purpose. My purpose is community. My purpose is to give solution for those who don't have. And then in the first place, when I started doing engineer, was because I wanted to help the more vulnerable community. And renewables, it just come to to complete the purpose that I've dreamed of, because the electricity in my current in my country is not our problem is not production. It's not production of energy. Our problem actually is transmission and distribution. So the moment that I found out in school, actually it was in England, I studied in England, and the moment that I found out that I could deliver or give access to electricity to rural areas where they don't have transmission lines, that was the moment when I decided to say, okay, that is what I want to do. And then you kind of can see that energy is a vital resource. Water is good. It's like, you cannot discuss about water, but I guess after water, it comes like energy, because without energy, you don't have the tools for you to have like to conserve food. You don't have sometimes you don't have opportunity for studies. Sometimes students have to walk long miles to go to school, who have access to electricity, because it is kind of difficult for you as a teacher to be in a place where it is like all without light and stuff. And also in the medicine, in hospital, you cannot in those days, you cannot just be, amateur of like doing an operation without a secured energy. So that is what I love, because my field doesn't only give a solution to a certain type of people or just one target. It's like my field, the energy, it supplies all the fields. I would say like for the 17 UN sustainable goal, it comes first. It comes first like the potable water, and then after that, I would say like energy, and then education, and then you have the otherwise, because it is the foundation for everything. And then that is what I love. And other things that I love is to know that, we are here to talk, and you don't know the current that is needed for you to have your internet running, and this is beautiful because you cannot see with your own eyes. You just know that it works. And then this mystery of you knowing, like with a small piece of device, you can give a tremendous solution, like you can innovate. It just fascinates me. Yeah. That's what I love about technology. And you know, the other thing, it comes with the there is a lot of, it's like I do love what I do. You know, the other things, it comes energy, it comes with a little bit of the essence of politics, you know, diplomacy, because right now, I will not go in this topic, but right now you can see like the world kind of runs by geopolitics. So if we go to the Russia situation now, you can see like politics does affect the way people live. And for you to have to develop renewables, you do kind of have to work on into policies and regulations. And this is fascinating because this is not just about your country. It might be about your country, my country, and the countries of other people that are watching us out. You know, and this is, I kind of say, I'm kind of like this serious because this is a real, a sensible subject. So let's not go there.
All right. Yeah, I'm very agree with you. You know, like, yeah, you know, I feel like a full excitement about how you explain about what you have been worked recently. You know, and yeah, it's very exciting me because I know that I will going down into that part. You know, I will become you too actually in the future because I'm studying in meteorology science. Thinking about the ideas, I mean, like to communicate about how we giving a diplomacy and how we could merge into the technology and the idea of climate change itself. It's very fascinating, you know, to know that how this topic could advance, how this topic could reach people that become aware of these important things.
One thing that I would like to always highlight and say, while like since we are talking about women in technology, it's like we do want representation, but I would say that don't be stuck in a place just because people say that it is really nice to have technicians, it's really nice to have engineers. If you can be a manager, if you can be a CEO, it is all right. Just don't look at the titles and just go after what you really like to do and represent ourselves in the top of the pyramid, you know?
Yeah. Something that I like about technology, you know, technology itself is very undefinite, you know. We cannot see where is the end. We cannot see, you know, like a final rise of the technology itself. And you know, it's very good, and it's very good possibility to, you know, explore many things in here because that thing because the definition of the technology that's very indefinite, we tend to keep develop and develops, and you know, reaching until people cannot respond again with our advancement of technology. And I think it's very good thing for especially young people who have a big ambitions and we have a big passions about these things. And you know, like technology itself is it's very related to each other. For example, like if we start to understand one thing that's very basic, we tend to easily understand the other one too. And it's very good, you know, like we can jumping, you know, as fast as possible, or like we can jumping when we try to bore it on, you know, sometimes work is very bored, right? When we start to bore it in one thing, we can start to learning to other things and not forgetting about what we have been through on the first place. And I think that's what I call that technology itself. It's very unique for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. So let me ask you something. If you would have a chance to innovate, what would you invent? Like what solution would you bring? Like you think maybe this is a problem and how come no one ever thought about it?
All right. I don't know if people actually never talk about it or not, but maybe it's everyone, young people content in here, you know, because my country is very big, and yeah, we still have a lot of people that still not understand how the technology is going, because you know, the city and the rural area is very far, and the transportation is very difficult to reach. And I think that's one challenge that we, me and the young people, maybe in the another class, is need to be resolved, and reaching an internet, reaching an information about technology in there, and placing a dream for them to having a same mind as us, as a young people. I wanna give them a dream, to be in contact with this thing, to be reaching at this point of my perspective right now, because I think it's very good to know that there's people that have the same ambitions and same perspective regarding what we need to develop, and regarding what we need to advance, especially for our country. Because my country, it's not like maybe like a developed country like Korea, or like I don't know what, Japan, that have been automatically developed. We need people to advance anything in here. That's one thing that I wanted to be raised, especially when I could do something in the university, or maybe after the university. That's what that's what I want.
Okay, that's nice.
Okay, we're going to next questions. All right. Maybe we can match this question. Like, what is the technology that inspired you until you having like a perspective, like this perspective at this point? And maybe you can also share an examples, like the things that you have done with and with tech that you are particularly proud of.
What I've done so far, first of all, with the Tchossi, it's like the creation of the platform. This platform also, besides like being the library, this is gonna help a lot of students, not only Angolans, but we are going trying to promote knowledge exchange between like international students. And secondly, hands-on training. I've dealt mostly with the controllers, because here we are struggling, or we don't have a clear policy about the reverse power, like injection into the grid. So most of our work, we had to put like a controller within the gensets, and then I kind of had to program in PLC. So it was really nice, because we have to control it in a way that even if the solar panel were producing more than it was consumed, it wouldn't inject into the grid. And then this was really nice. It was a 700 kilowatt project that I did here in Angola, like just near in the city. Yes, apart from that is the genset itself, like the electrical part of the generator. And one thing that I think that I'm into now, besides solar energy, now I'm dealing with hydrogen technology.
Wow.
and I believe that this is the technology that is gonna have a huge impact here in Angola. And I feel proud to be one of the pioneers, and being a woman like leading these projects here. I know it's high risk project because hydrogen is really, dangerous, but it is nice to know that we are kind of going to times where we can export energy to other countries, and it feels really good. And if that would be in a technology where I'd really be into, that would be hydrogen, because you can export energy and you can also apply to agriculture, which is a sector that has a huge, investment here in Angola, because our soil is fertile. We used to be one of the biggest country to export coffee. Back in the days, coffee and cotton, But now we do have a second opportunity to be this one, especially with the ammonia. Yeah, I just, talking about technology is a broad subject, because you just cannot come and say about one stuff, because within all the sector, you kind of deal with technology itself, even if softwares like programming, as I said, even with the technology itself, like with the inverters, with the controllers, and now in chemistry, where you have to separate water, to separate like oxygen and hydrogen. And yeah, I don't know if I did answer your question.
Yeah, of course. Your answer is very, very excite me. Yeah, like what I said, this is the thing that I very excited most about, because energy is something that's very vulnerable for the future, and having someone that very passionate about how we can sustain this thing, how we can develop this thing, in especially for the country that maybe is still struggling about. It's a very good thing. And I'm very adore you. I very adore you and what you have been through. It's true.
Oh, thank you. And I do have like one more question. It's the question that I always do for girls and women that I met. How do you see yourself within 5 years? I know like you start in our university, but yeah, how do you see yourself within 5 years?
Yeah. Actually, I'm already having like a future plan for my 4 years in the university and how I will continue my career, especially after I graduate. Because I never going abroad. I never going abroad. I just going in the 2 different city in 1 year. Yeah, I learning English by myself, and it's very hard at first. Yeah, it's very hard at first, to having like this confidence to talking in front of you, to talking for the project that's very international. Yeah, it's hard to having that confidence, and I know that I need to going abroad, to having a lot more perspective, to grow, to expand my knowledge, and to expand my, because in Indonesia, in here, we tend to having like a same circles for like 2 years or 3 years. Yeah, I think it's good to maintain your relationship closer, but I think it's also a challenge for us that want to keep developing and and want to know what the people think about something that we most concerned about. Yeah, I think that it's very good idea to me for pushing myself to going abroad. Maybe if I have a chance, maybe if I have like possibility to join many projects in the future, I think I want to push that, because when we going to push our limit, especially in the field that we have, we have interest, we have a passionate about. I think like it's like we are jumping. It's like we are jumping our step, and the jumping will keep far as we keep to advance our knowledge. I think that's what I want to do in the next 5 years. And again, if you want to specify these questions, I still want to found the connections between diplomacy and the meteorology or like climate things, because even though people have already many perspective about the the diplomacy itself or the climate change itself, people still not passing the urgency to connect both things. And I think that's what I want to focus on the next 5 years. And how about you? Because after I talk too much about my plan, I think I want to know what do you want to do in the next 5 years?
I guess I just love my country, first of all, and I'd like to be the bridge between private or foreign investment into renewable and Angola. I just want to be that one woman that everyone knows that this is representing Angola in the energy sector. She's a leader, the youngest leader, I hope to be there. I don't know if my age will allow me, but yes, I want to be the youngest leader in my country to move this transition. And also within 5 years, I can see Tchossi around the world with the capability of also a bargain, like also taking international students to get to know more about the work that I've been doing here in Angola, as well as maybe open an organization. I know I'm involved with a lot of NGOs, but I also want to open mine to lead students into energy, into sustainability. I guess because of my own experience, I only got like the awareness about climate change once I was in England, mainly because of my parents really didn't talk much about it, and maybe the cycle that I was inserted didn't really care about it. But I believe if I was more aware, like if I would get to know these when I was younger than while I was in England, maybe I'll have done much more than what I'm doing now. And then maybe just within 3 to 5 years, like open a program for children to get to know about sustainability and leading them to renewables, as well as especially girls, because they would feel like the representation is there. And then maybe I'll just trying to bridge this gap between females and males. And of course, I would welcome males for them to understand that it's not about the gender, but it's all about like your intelligence, your skills, your ability to deliver. And yes, I see myself like that within 3 to 5 years.
All right, that's so very good to hear that we are having like a big ambition for our future, even so that, we have a bit act difference, and we're living in the different generation about how we're thinking about the world. I think
I wish I were like you when I was when I was your age. Surely imagine myself learning English by myself and then sound this confidence. Oh my God, let me learn French by myself.
I think it's also technology that makes me, encounter this thing, having to reach this point. I think that technology, it's also become the reason for that. Yeah, we can feel like,
sure.
Okay, thank you, technology, for this.
Sure,
okay, since we are facing, like the last minute sessions, I will tackle you the last question for this. Since this series about, like girls and women in technology, do you have any like career advice or message, especially for girls and younger women in the tech? Maybe the people especially that want to encounter your field, especially in the renewable energy and technology.
Well, the message that I would say, first of all, I'd like girls to understand that even lucky needs a preparation. What I mean by that, you can have other representation, you can have other opportunities, but you must be prepared. And the preparation comes when you have the mindset of keep learning. It is need to keep learning for you to stand out within the community, within the media, within the society. But most importantly about your passion is for you to be disciplined. Of course, me, Alda, I don't wake up every day motivated, but I wake up every day with this discipline to know that I have to deliver, to knowing that I do have commitment to do this and that. It is all right, not every day like the sunshine bright, but every day I'm Alda Manuell, and then Alda Manuell has to deliver this. Of course, I also want you to understand, like girls, I want you to understand that it is okay to not know something. We don't know everything. We are humans, and do never sabotage yourself. Do never ask yourself and work with people who have the same vision as you. It's like be someone who is not doing just for now, but also you have a clear vision of your path. Once you have a clear vision of your path, the universe is gonna open the doors for you. And believe in yourself. Do not limit you by what other people think about you. You are you. You are as big as your dreams. That is the message that I'll do. And I also like you to to leave some message, because when I was your age, I didn't have this mindset that you have now. And believe me, you inspire me. It's like I love to meet you. I love to get to know more about you, your history. And right now, I hope next year I can say I learned a new language by myself just because I knew you. And then imagine someone talking with this confidence. Someone's like, I just love it. And then I believe that even here for girls in my country, they can see and say, okay, sometimes we follow what we reflect on. People sometimes just don't say, okay, I'm not gonna follow Alda because she's a little bit older. But yes, they're gonna see you who are in the same age, and then they can say, yes, Alfiah, she did that. Maybe I can do it as well.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to hear my message for people?
Yes.
All right. Maybe if you're talking about technology, I'm still not expert to giving a message about that. But maybe I could say like it's okay to explore what makes you curious, because realize or not, knowledge is something that's very indefinite. It's something that there's no border to explore many things, and I tend to finding many possibilities, many change, to reach something that maybe people will easily get that, but I'm not. I tend to keep finding any change to reach that, even though I cannot afford it by myself. And I think it's very good, to keep our spirit up, to keep our ambitions full, even though people have a different urgencies or different perspective about that. Because if we are not brave to become alone or become a frontier to what makes you ambition, to what makes you want to reach the dream, I think we will stay on the same place for a long year, and that's not a good thing to her. And I hope that the spirit of youth, especially my generation especially, will always spark, because we realize that the technology and the people itself still need to be more advanced. And the more people understand how this urgency going, and how this urgency going, and how this issue should be raised by many people, I think we will keep advancing more faster, and we will could reach many people that we have been reached before. There is no more inequality, and I hope that there is no more inequality, or the statement that said like women and girls is not very suitable to work on this file. I hope there is no statement that will appear in the future after we're going into this conversation, because it's the bad to find about that. After we say it, many things that maybe could inspire people, it could be like concerns for other people that still not have any confidence like us. And that's what I want to say for the message for people actually. Thank you, Ms. Alda, for our conversation today. I'm having a lot of fun talking about this, because I think we're on the same line, in the terms of understanding about how technology works and how our ambitions is going, especially in the terms of renewable energy. And I think it's very good to, discussion about this. And how about you? What did you feel about our discussions?
Well, I think this type of discussion and conversation are really important, because it is nice for you to see another point of view, mostly because we are in different continents and we have different experience and background as well. But above all is that we are just like technology, and it englobes also STEAM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. But one thing for sure is like to see that it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you live or where you come from, but when you are ambitious enough to pursue your dreams, that is where you stop at. And it is also nice to, to have the testimony that not everything goes well in life, but here we are, and we are trying to do the best of us. And this conversation, it's not just about me who have experience, who are in the field already, but it's also me learning what you girls are doing. It's just now that you are saying that you learned English by your own, and then you change fields. You wanted to do diplomacy, and then you are doing other things. Like this also inspire me, in the terms of keep going, keep running. You are not the only one in this race. There is other people that are doing things different and maybe are struggling more than you. So I guess this is the type of conversation that must exist, because people don't follow just advice. People follow examples. That's why I always say, if you gotta lead, you lead by example. Just don't say, do that, do this, because people are not following these. People need to see Alfiah is doing this, Alda, she achieved this. That is how people are gonna follow. And then they, when I say they, I'm saying girls, they are gonna feel more comfortable to know, like, I can go to this industry. They say it's not easy, it is hard. Yes, it is very hard, but it's not harder when you do put your effort on that. Yeah.
Yeah, your statement will wrap up our session today for Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. Thank you so much, Miss Alda. I really enjoy our conversation today. What a good, passionate conversations. And also thank you so much for our viewers later to watching. And I hope we can inspire you, to start working, especially in the field of technology. And see you again.
See you. Bye.